Last time on Curse of Groban Revengeance. It's been a while, y'all, but real life and new jobs really hit you right in the berries. Okay, so last time, Dorje, who we thought was totally dead or coming back as a vampire, was instead brought back to life as her regular self, thanks to Inigo, Ricky, Esmeralda, and Father Nedlovich of the Valaki Lithandran Church. Shortly after her resurrection, and some tentative negotiating between Inigo and Father Nedlovich, letting him know that things were going to be different under his rule. While receiving supplicants later that evening, or perhaps the next morning. Hell if I remember, it's been too long. And I am the ancient, I am Strahd. He received a letter being invited to my humble abode for dinner that evening. Yay, I think I got it all. It's so fucking long. Oh, and how could I forget? Strahd was actually in the audience as a he was in the audience as a commoner and just
He got scammed by Marta and Alexi.
Yeah, Marta and Alexi scammed his ass.
When Strahd's fields are going to grow tares instead of wheat, let's go.
Let's go. But alright. Yes, shortly after having received that letter, I don't remember if you were like immediately making way to go or.
Yeah, we got in a carriage and we're on our way to Ravenloft.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right.
We are now on day 1. Oh shit.
I think this is.
Oh no, technically day 2.
Yeah, day two. Oh yeah, that's right. Because like you had went back to like the tavern for the night, and he went back to the castle, and then like
Yeah.
Okay. Helping me jog my memory. Thank you. All right, so you guys hop in the carriage, depart from Castle von Schrödinger into Valaki proper, and then eventually out of it and on to the Eastern Old Slavik Road. I'm still gonna do that because you fucking put Slav there. I should take a little bit, because you gotta go around. I mean, carriages are faster, right? My god, everything's all windy. What, do you have a gun now?
Huh?
No, the raven flies overhead, bang. Alright, 11 miles. I don't know. What do we say? It took like.
And
What's the speed of a draft horse?
Quickly.
Speed of a draft horse? Oh, I'll tell you right now.
It would take about an hour if the horse was actually going at full speed.
If it would,
What is the air?
well, I mean, y'all are in a wagon, so they're not going at full speed.
Yeah, a leisurely pace is 4 to 5 miles per hour.
That 40 feet movement.
Yeah, it would
I mean,
take
so you get 40 miles in an 8-hour march. Then D&D rules.
Okay.
So
that's
it's like
5 miles an hour.
Yeah, so you'd get like just over 2 hours.
All right.
Okay. So, as you spend these 2 hours in your carriage ride to Castle Ravenloft, if you so desire, you may take the opportunity to discuss things amongst yourselves. Well, between the two of you.
Says Dorje. I have not played her in a very long time outside of before. But she would be curious on how to earn back the other's trust, because part of her is wondering if the skull is going to be enough.
It's risky what you have planned, but I don't know. I'm hoping he follows through on his end of the bargain with my mother, but
He doesn't.
if he doesn't, your reunion is going to have a little bit more of an awkward discussion with the group.
Do you want me to prepare for it then?
I think we'll just cross that bridge when we get to it.
Alright.
Okay. I gotta get to the... Where is it? Where is the castle? The beautiful castle.
Oh, wait. There is one extra. The Master of Spies. What was his name again?
Their name is Moldovan.
Make a history check. Okay.
Andre Moldovan. Andiri?
Andiri.
You're right, it's Andre.
Andre, okay. Andre Moldovan, though. Unsure if they're male or female. Never properly heard their voice. One time heard it was female, one other time it was male.
Do you think they would take an interest in our mission?
To my knowledge, they're loyal to Strahd.
That's part of what worries me. If the Master of Spies suspects us, or sees a reason to tag along,
What was the... Oh, you took part of my castle.
Is that what that was?
That's what that was.
I'm sorry.
My castle. It's missing one of the turrets.
I clicked on something and I couldn't see because that's where the letter is for that location on the map, and that's like for Valaki, like whatever the designation is, and yeah, I was trying to move your token, forgetting that I put it on the map layer, and I just moved the fucking castle turret. It's like, what is this? Go away.
I'm still on the world map.
Yeah, it was on the world map. It was over by Valaki. I made it really big to figure out what it was, and then when I was like, "This is a black box." Yeah, I was
Why
like,
is it
"What
moving?
is this?"
Why can't I click on it?
But sorry, you were saying.
No, basically she's concerned about the Master of Spies maybe deciding to tag along. She's not sure if that's a good or bad thing.
I mean, if the Master of Spies knows, we're fucked as soon as we enter the castle.
I shall bear that in mind.
All right. But eventually, you would once more reach the looming walls of Castle Ravenloft, seat of Count Strahd von Zarovich's power. You make your way through the large oaken doors leading into the courtyard. You would watch as Radin would simply appear and open the doors, helping each of you out of the carriage. And then you would watch as a seemingly unseen force would then drive the carriage over towards a little stable within the southwestern portion of the curtain walls surrounding the castle proper.
Does it put a boot on the carriage?
No, it does not put a boot on the ye old boot. No.
You're not leaving.
But Radin would turn to the two of you, and I always forget which map it is. I think it's this one. Let me double check. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Radin would lead you in.
The map moved me in a weird spot.
Oh,
I'm there, don't worry.
okay. I wasn't sure if you were stuck or not.
No, I was waiting and then realized I'm looking at the corner of the map, not the actual thing.
My lord is expecting you. Oh, all these doors. No, do not restrict player movement. Just close the fucking doors. Why are they all open? I'll say the doors magically close behind you.
Mass thaumaturgy, let's go.
But Radin would wait down over here. And he'd come over, open the door for you, beckon ye inward.
Oh.
And you would also see, you would see her. And I don't have for this, but I will put a little placeholder if you'll give me a moment.
I love that I cannot see it.
Oh, yeah. If you want to, you both can drop your tokens down. We'll just
Where was it?
just drop them over here, and then I'll move them to where they need to go.
There we go.
All right. No, you don't need the little fairy. All right. We're gonna pretend like these two aren't in the fucking corner of the room. So
Cheese
they can
legs
see
outta
what's
here.
going on here. Yeah, no cheese legs. He waits outside. Outside horse. He could go eat at the stable with Bucephalus. Get the fucking raven out of here. I'm gonna kill it.
Just
That's
watching
Strahd's
the
raven.
corner.
No, it's yours. Don't lie. I just gotta find this fucking Oh, yeah. Where is it? I literally just scrolled right past her. Okay. And one last one. Here we go. It's so tiny! Alright. So upon entering the dining room, once more seated at the head of the table, you would see Strahd himself, seated to his left, a quite strikingly beautiful, darker skinned female, wearing lots of gold and what sort of seems to be like a wedding dress of sorts. You would see this strange individual that I don't have an interchangeable token to make them seem male or female, but we'll just say that right now they currently look female, and their features are obscured. Young girl, fitting. Make. I think it's been a bit, so you'd probably have to make a history check.
No, I remember her. She's the daughter that was taken.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. And this
And a
final
good
one,
investigator never forgets.
yeah, a good investigator never forgets. And the final one would look towards you with recognition, Inigo, and while she looks quite older than you remember her, this is your mother.
He kind of stops and like locks eyes with her and just kind of almost like seems like he wants to run over there, but like keeps his composure in front of the count. And is there a designated spot for him, or is it just like a pick a
It
chair?
doesn't seem to be. There's
Okay.
there's the end of the table and the other two.
All right, he'll
Yeah.
go sit next to his mother.
Okay. All right.
I
Yeah,
grab my
he-
character and up goes the door.
Yes, Radine will close the door behind you.
Food for guests, but no food for Radine. Radine must eat with rats again.
I guess I'll go sup on some rats again, Master. You know I'm not a
Thankfully, one of-
vampire, right?
Thankfully, one of the rats gave birth, so I can have milk tonight.
Delicious.
Dick!
So, as you all settle in, you would watch as almost invisible, slightly almost like a wispy shadow forms that you for if they stand still for the briefest moment, you almost think that it looks humanoid in nature, would quickly just dash in and out of this room, placing many different plates, some of them laden with food, but others a little bit more questionable. You notice that closer between Inigo's mother and Gertruda, more common Barovian cuisine. However, towards Strahd's end of the table, blood of different varieties, but also you do see some questionable meat that is not cooked. And some cooked stuff would be also put down over towards your end, Dorje, but more towards you and away from Inigo, as he too is just simply being, like putting out like a goblet and filling it with blood. There is also wine as an option if Inigo so desires, but it seems that tonight's vintage is positive.
I won't turn it down.
Okay. But I would say
Spike
that
the
like
blood with wine.
you spike the blood. Your mother would sit very quietly, and you would see there's a gladness and a longingness to want to say something, but she doesn't speak. She just stays quiet for the time being, just kind of like almost. The best way to describe it, excuse me, because you're both a insightful and a perceptive guy, it's like trying to reckon the little boy with the man that you've become. She's just trying to capture every detail of you and like analyze isn't necessarily the right word, but I guess like match it to what she remembers.
Where's her hands?
They would be in front of her on the table. Like just kind of like stationary next to her knife and fork. She hasn't put anything on her plate yet. It does seem like these nigh unseen servants are sort of serving people. They just haven't gotten to her yet. It seems like they went to like Gertruda first, and then they're kind of like finishing up with that and going to serve her. But yeah,
I'll just reach out and take her hand.
where are her hands? At the end of her arm.
Well, I was wondering if they were in her lap, on the table.
Okay, yeah, you take her hand, and there's like a little bit of like unsteadiness. There's like some shaking to it, and at first you're not quite sure if it's fear, but then it slows down a little bit, but there's like a slight tremor that remains, and you wonder if perhaps it's age.
How old does she look?
Well, you've been gone for a bit, yeah? So, I mean, she's... Let me put it this way. I imagine one of the main reasons why he was so upset was like she was a bit of a young mom. I'm guessing,
Yeah.
right? Okay. But you're 70, right?
About, yeah.
She'd be
80 something.
You should be 80 something. Yeah, yeah. This is like a... Yeah. Actually...
Unless
Yeah,
Strahd
no,
did something to keep her young.
No. It's nothing like that. I would say that Barovians that live a long time wind up one of two ways. They either look completely decrepit, like a corpse that just needs to be put out of its misery, or they do look strangely younger than their actual age. I would say, despite you knowing her to be in her 80s, she looks like she could be in like her mid 60s.
Good diet
she
and
has-
exercise.
Good diet and exercise. She's aged gracefully. You definitely think that like she was kept in the best way. So. But eventually, food would be served out to her and to Dorje. And just before like everyone begins to dig in, and you just kind of watch like Gertruda's kind of sitting there, similar to like how your mother was. Well, actually no, she would have had her hands in her lap, and just kind of like very like back almost like ramrod straight, but like staring off into the nothingness, but kind of like dopey, you know. And then all of a sudden you hear like a little clink, 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 as Strahd is just kind of tapping one of his long claws against the outside of his glass.
In a way to get attention, or just
Yeah, in a way to get attention. Just, minus the spoon, because... Well, now that everyone is here and the food has been laid out... So wonderfully, might I add. Excellent work, as he just kind of like looks around to seemingly no one. Let us have a toast to reunions. He would raise his glass and kind of look towards the rest of you as if prompting.
yeah, I follow suit.
I shall hold up my cup, I guess.
Right. And the others shall as well. Be reunited with one that you yearned for and you had not seen for quite some time. Love is like a paintbrush. It can be a myriad of colors. You reunited with your mother. I reunited with yet another incarnation of my long-lost Titania. As he gestures towards Gertruda.
What's
And the-
Gertruda's kind of reaction to that?
She just kind of like slowly blinks and like very dumbly smiles.
Okay, she doesn't fully grasp the situation. Okay.
Yeah, no. You,
There.
well, you know what? You're a vampire. You think she might be charmed?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah. And he would just, reunions perhaps even to come. As he looks towards Dorje.
She looks him sort of... Not sure if he's talking about her mission or something else.
But enough about reunions. Let us bask, revel in what is before us. Enjoy this time that we have, for time, while it is something that some of us have in abundance, others do not. And he kind of like almost seems sincere with that. It's strange, and he like hangs his head a little bit. But enjoy.
Can I insight that before the moment passes entirely?
Sure.
I know I'm shit at it, but... Oh, it's a to GM. Shit.
That's fine.
What
Yeah,
is-
seems pretty genuine.
Ew. Alright. Bless was marked on that one. I don't know why, but it is turned off.
Okay. But I'll say after he says that, he takes a large draft from his goblet, and you watch as like some of the others begin to eat what's like been laid out before them. You'd notice that the woman to your right, Inigo, you'd recognize her. You know that this is one of his brides. I don't know if you'd remember her name. You know, you can. If you
I'd
if
say
you
the
care
chance
to,
is slim, but
yeah, if you care to, you can make a history check. 12. You're not sure which one this one is. You're like, there's 3 of them. There's
he's
been
narrowed
others.
it down to 2. Not sure which one though.
Yeah,
It's
you think this
definitely
one
not the
might.
third one.
Yeah, you're not sure if this one is Valenta or Ludmilla. But you would notice that like she's trying to very as gracefully as one can eat what appears to be a rack of ribs. What ribs? Mm. The other one, Moldovan, would seemingly just drink, but every time that like the goblet would be brought up to the shadows of the cowl, you would not see anything, and then it would just kind of come back out of those shadows with the glass slightly more drained. But for the most part, until everyone is as satiated as they're going to be.
Well, I guess like through dinner, I'll kind of lean over to my mother and kind of whisper to her, "Sorry it took me so long."
She would slowly nod in acknowledgement, and you would feel like you'd watch as she would turn and just go back to sort of not necessarily looking out into space, but like trying not to focus on any one thing. But you would feel one of her fingers begin to tap your hand.
In like a pattern, or just like
Yeah, what's your passive perception's an 18.
19.
You think 19? Yeah, you think it might be a pattern.
Can I try and, I don't know, deduce what it might mean?
Sure. Unfortunately, I think that's an intelligence-based roll, so the wisdom only gets you so far.
Roll fat. 13. Fuck.
You feel like you're beginning to follow the pattern. Whatever it is seems to be on a repeat. It's not a short or fast repeat because it seems that there's a bit to it. But once it stops, it'll start back up again in relatively short succession. Not that short. Not that short. But she will just sort of continue to do it.
And I'll let her as I try to deduce what it is over time.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. I'll say, yeah, dinner lasts for a bit before they finally decide to, like, clear the table. I'll say that she doesn't eat, like, much of anything. But she does drink, say water. Yeah, like there'll be like a glass of water, and she probably goes through like maybe about like 2 to 3 glasses of water over the course of the meal. Gertruda seems to eat like just enough. Does Dorje eat anything?
No, I was actually just about to let you know she doesn't eat or drink more than a couple of bites. Although this time it doesn't seem to be out of nervousness.
Okay. I don't know if it's the last time, but this time, whoever cooked, they cooked. It's it's pretty good. It's even for a couple of little bites here and there. It is quite savory, and it doesn't taste like you're eating anything that is out of the blue. Like anything exotic, we'll say. But eventually, meal would sort of come to an end, and some glasses are still kind of being poured here and there if people still want stuff to drink. But Strahd will. So, first and foremost, congratulations are in order. You have successfully dealt with your father, albeit some casualties, though it seems that has been resolved. And you have taken his position, which means you will become privy to what is required of your station.
I just nod. I don't really know what to verbally say to that.
Okay, alright. As promised, you are reunited with your mother, and I hope that you will serve me well in the coming and possibly trying times. This realm, Barovia, it is strange. Do you not think?
Ken?
Is that a rhetorical question or a...
It seems to be like seeing like what your opinion is. He's like waiting for somebody to say something.
Well, I've seen the outside world. It's definitely starkly different to the world outside. And more so than just the superficial, like the sun. More in its roots.
This place was once part of the outside world. A beautiful river valley. One I found. My queen mother and king father living in a further off land. I sought, earn myself laurels as crown prince. So I made war. I conquered many enemies. But finally I came here. And here I did not wish to conquer. For its beauty enraptured me. It was a place that I wished to preserve. But my story is long, old, and full of tragedy. Suffice to say, and I am not proud to admit it, but admit it I must, due to my own mistakes, my own hubris, this once beautiful place is now forever trapped an eternal cycle. One that dooms us all to repeat our history again and again. I seek to break the wheel. I wish to free Barovia from this, and in turn free myself. But you must be wondering, how? It can be no simple task. Surely there would be those that would seek to prevent it. And there is a plan, which will be revealed in due time, but first, steps must be taken, assurances, so that this may be successful. You, as he points to you, Inigo. There is a relic. One that your father was unable to acquire. Within Vallaki. The church of St. Andreval. The crypts beneath hold what I seek. If you can find a way to coerce this item through force or guile from the people of Vallaki and bring it to me, you will have completed the first of my tasks for you. For you see, the sun will be the greatest obstacle upon Barovia's reemergence.
Can I insight at least partially what he's foreshadowing with this item? Or at least figure out somehow what he's talking about?
Sure,
yeah,
yeah.
can I, do I have any idea of what he's talking about?
Yeah, would that be insight or arcana? Because that sounds like a magical item, but at the same time.
Coffee roll. I feel like the arcana would be like if you had knowledge of an item that could maybe accomplish what he's talking about. You specifically, you're magically inclined, but I mean,
But not magically informed.
yeah.
Alright.
Such is the
Inigo,
life of a sorcerer.
Yeah.
You've been
Oof.
places.
Why is
well,
it still on bless?
That's guidance.
Yeah, I think that's guidance.
Where?
It'd be in your global skill modifier. Wouldn't be in. It's on the
Below.
left side of the page.
I'll say the 5. You have no idea if any of this is remotely true, or it could be a complete fabrication. It could be the complete truth. You're not sure, one way or the other. But Inigo, yeah, I mean, you can definitely insight. As for if you've ever heard of anything like this, I mean, you're from here, but even this is seemingly escaping you. You for what he's talking about, you can make a history check, but at disadvantage. But you can still make the insight check regardless. That'll just be a straight roll.
Okay, history. Following a theme, insight.
Okay. Which, give me a moment. Okay. That history. You're not sure. You've heard I'll put it like this. You know that in the towns of Barovia, Wallachia, and Kresk, there are 3 churches, all of them which are to Lathander. You know that the Abbey of St. Markovia, that the saint is interred beneath. Same with St. Andreval. You remember that there was a third from the legend? They were supposed to be interred in Barovia, but it seems that they're just kind of like lost to history. Maybe this has something to do with that individual? Is the best guess you've got. And as to what he's saying, he truly believes that if you can find this object, it is another completed step on the path to the goal that he has laid out before you, one that he seems to very much believe in and seems very willing to make a reality.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really. I guess I'll just wait for him to continue saying things, because, like,
Oh yeah, okay, that's true. Oh yeah, sorry, where did I leave off? Yeah, so that is your task. And yes, it will, as I said, will assist in Barovia's reemergence. This is something I have been working towards for quite some time. If this curse can be broken, imagine not only being a part of the outside world again, but us, those who are of the night, being capable of walking in the day. We would no longer fear the light.
Does he intend to come as a conqueror, or...
You're not sure? I mean, how do I put this? He doesn't seem to be implying that. You can ask him.
Part of me wants to, but I don't want to bring any sort of unnecessary suspicion on myself given the shit I'm about to pull. So I will wait.
Okay.
is that even possible for us to walk the day without care of the sun?
It is quite possible. As I said, I have studied this and worked towards this for what at this point feels like centuries. You see, Cyril Romulic, the third saint, it is said, and mind you, this was a closely guarded and secret that I paid quite the price to find out, was a vampire. The one and only daywalker blessed by the Morning Lord. Can you believe that? gifted unto him a mantle that would allow him to traverse beneath the sun. Now, I believe that if we can acquire this item and use it in an enhancement ritual of sorts, that it can be applied to individuals without the need to wear the mantle. And if this can happen, and the outside world can be accessed without fear of the sun, then the return of Barovia can happen. We can be free from the curse, break the wheel, end the cycle.
How do we return Barovia?
That will be much more difficult. The dark powers seek to keep me, its dreadlord, forever entrapped. A puppet upon their strings, so that I might dance again and again for their entertainment. The only way to cut those strings is with greater power. Something that the dark powers cannot stand against. But this is a much more complicated task, one that I have delegated to those that it is more within their bailiwick to be able to perform. You needn't concern yourself with it for the time, but rest assured, things are moving forward.
I nod my head.
But that is what I require of you. And, should you complete your task, things will progress. You will be presented with more tasks towards this eventual goal, and thus be rewarded, not only with the ability to return to the outside world, with your mother in tow if you so desire, but the ability to not fear your gift. Do not fear the sun. As for you, he'll turn to Dorje. I believe we had already discussed you returning the skull to your friends and acting as my agent.
She'll nod.
The item is ready. Would you say the word? Whenever you are prepared, you have my blessing, he'll say as he smiles widely.
Kind of a wide smile is this? Is it just wide naturally, or is it like
The
horror
Grinch.
movie?
No, it's not like the Grinch, but it's like very much like a toothy smile. Like you see the fangs, but it's not there might be an implication, but it's not directly.
She's trying not to look somewhat terrified. She's failing in the eyes of people who actually know what to look for. But still she'll nod. I believe I should be able to pull this off. I hope.
Excellent. I hope you don't disappoint.
Do I?
Have I managed to put together what my mother is tapping away?
Yeah. It would be
Strahd disguised as peasant is typing.
Oh God, she's aware. She's aware of the world outside the game.
Oh, I am, because I'm outside of the game. Dorje, on the other hand, is very much not.
Can't
Not Dorje,
believe that
Samai.
Inigo's mom is warning him to go save Marta.
I know it said peasant, but my brain turned it into Strahd disguised as a peanut.
What did
And I'd say that like once you finally seem to figure it out, it would stop. Actually, I would repeat one last time and then it would stop.
Yeah. My lord, I would like to have one thing clarified. When we leave today to return to Valaki, my mother will be accompanying me, will she not? Or will she continue to enjoy your hospitality?
Oh, she will accompany you.
I want to inside check that.
Mm-hmm. Both of us
Okay.
are.
Fuck!
Oh, shoot!
She will be accompanying you. I have no intention to not reward you for your completed task. Your father had become a thorn in my side.
Forgive me, my lord. After some not so fun experiences with a fae recently, I just want to be sure. She'll be accompanying me alive and in good health.
I am on the verge of being insulted, but I can understand the wariness that former compatriot of yours and her association to a adversary would make anyone cautious. Your mother, in full health, completely unharmed, shall return with you to Castle von Schrödinger, or wherever you deign to take her after you leave the castle here.
There's a slight sigh of relief, but he's still a little on edge because of what his mother told him. Apologies, my lord. I just, again, like you said, the Fae are a tricksy bunch, and experiences with them can leave scars.
Understandable. But nothing sorry. But there should be no concern. She will be completely fine. Now, I invite you to stay the night.
Yes, Dorje, you might want to stay as well as instead of heading off immediately, still recovering from being dead. Put your
That
better to
would be
odds at success were you to get a little bit more rest. If I
that actually sounds like a good idea.
may not be so fuck, what's the word?
Incline?
Presumptuous? Because like I'm basically inviting you to stay, which I'm
Well, the invitation was extended to the both of you.
okay. Okay. I just want okay.
And to clarify, because of the concern about wording in Fey, there's no need to extend the invitation to your mother, for she is already a guest of my home.
I chuckle at that. I think you've relieved my concerns of wording for now.
Good, I was growing tired of that. Um, but I'll say, unless the two of you have any more questions for him,
Actually, I do want to inform him. My lord, I would like to kind of present my current plan for Velaki in terms of potentially acquiring this relic. For if we can, I believe, gaining the trust of the populace will be a bit more successful in the long run than my father's oppressive manner of ruling over Velaki.
you would drain his glass and then nod towards you, sort of like leaning in, intrigued by what you're saying.
I don't know if my father was, well, you said he failed to acquire the relic, so the method he was using obviously insufficient. So perhaps a change in strategy. I believe acquiring the trust of the populace of Velaki will have inherent benefits. Less risk of rebellion, less risk of them aiding those who seek to harm your plan, as they might be more inclined to defend such a plan. Of course, not knowingly, of course, unless you want it that way. If they no longer believe they require such a relic, they might willingly hand it over.
I see. Interesting. So you would seek to rule with the carrot rather than the stick, so as to achieve the goal.
Exactly. There will
Like
be
this.
slight problems at first, getting everyone accustomed on both sides, both the undead and the living. Though I've set in motion plans to have those punished who do not step in line with the new city order. And I have entrusted that to the punishment of the living to the populace of the lucky, should they step out of line. That way, there's a bit more, less of a tyrannical appearance to us. We have a bit more self-sufficiency. Also, with a change in the blood tithes to being voluntary, it will perhaps incite more higher quality and over time potentially even a higher quantity, as there are benefits to those who volunteer a blood donation.
I see, and what would these incentives be?
Discounts on goods and services. First pick on market day for catch of the day and such like that. Perhaps an increased pay for a time until their next tithe. I'm also working on getting the economy up and running again, so as things kind of hit a bit of a downturn.
They have been stagnant as of late, yes.
I believe with my reforms, things should be a bit not only easier to be managed, but also a bit more prosperous and beneficial to your rule.
My dear boy, you are an innovator. Do these ideas of yours come from the outside world?
Not necessarily. I guess in a way they have inspired it. They don't... Forgive me for saying so, but as a comparison to the outside world, the way Barovia's kind of run is a bit more oppressive and not very commoner friendly. But the city of Waterdeep, for example, it's the largest city on the Sword Coast. It's massive. There's millions of people living there. And yes, there's strife and problems there itself, but overall, things are rather successful. And they don't...
Incredibly intrigued. You're talking about Waterdeep, but sorry, go ahead.
Oh. And they run things a bit more in line with how I think things... I plan on having Velaki be managed.
These are fantastical ideas, and I believe that they should be implemented as soon as possible. With Barovia's reemergence into the outside world, we need to be able to begin conducting ourselves in a manner in which we have trade with other peoples and nations. And it is this kind of thinking that will bring us to the forefront, and perhaps even make us a power within the world as a whole. But there is one thing that I fear you are misconstruing. All of this is well and good, and I fully support it. But that item is something that must be acquired with haste. Your father took the long approach, and his failures are still cascading to this day. You must find a way to acquire it within short notice.
Well, in that...
Sorry, go ahead.
I would not interrupt him.
Oh, okay. For the time for the other steps to begin is drawing nigh.
Well, in that case... I have a suggestion, my lord. While I attempt to acquire the item through persuasion and trust, perhaps Dorje, along with the skull, could find a way to have the group acquire it for us. Though I don't believe the skull will be enough to potentially persuade them.
It won't. I must apologize, my lord. I may have given you your gift a little preemptively, but I'm sure we can find a way around it.
Oh.
Yes, I think, unfortunately, the sword might have to be returned to them in order for Dorje to gain any sort of semblance of trust with them. And when she has that, she should be able to acquire the relic and Velaki. Especially if she comes with information about how this item is vital to Strahd's, to your plan. And, well, it's not safe in its current location as, the new ruler of Velaki is gaining the trust of the populace and are at risk of being swindled out of it. So perhaps they would need to, what's his name?
Quiet.
Ricky?
Zalint.
Oh, Zalant. Okay.
Perhaps, I believe Zalint is not, his issue has not been resolved yet, so I think they might believe Kresk to be more of a safe haven than anything. So they might seek to bring the relic to Kresk while they're taking it away. Dorje can whisk away the sword and the relic back to your back here and into your possession.
Make a persuasion check.
We could add in some interest instead of only the two objects.
Do you have anything?
I could bring them to you, if you wish, my lord.
Your compatriots. No, I don't think it's time for that yet.
Seven wind, keen power strikes, unarmored movement. Fuck. Tongue of sun and moon. Shit. I mean,
You don't have anything, do
Need
you?
help?
the only thing I can think of is like,
The only reason that I wasn't going to allow you to help him to give him advantage is because you are asking him to give up something that can quite
Yeah.
literally kill him. The
Not only
DC was
that,
already
we
going to be
literally
high.
just gave
the
him-
only way I
Yeah.
can think of to like potentially help is like to throw in more information on the outside world to distract him.
I'd say you're intelligent enough to know that that's. You're,
That's not enough.
that's not gonna buy.
He's interested, not that interested.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can reroll fucking saves, but I can't reroll checks. I'm not a sorcerer.
I have an idea.
Full
What
attention.
about a little bit of additional deception on your part? Here. And he would snap his fingers, and another one of those wisp like servants would appear, uh, carrying a familiar looking hilt nestled within a leather scabbard.
She'll pick it up, like look to him for permission.
He'll nod.
Okay, she'll pick it up and quote
I'm
unquote
ready to
activate
shield
it.
my eyes.
Yeah, quote unquote activate it.
I just draw it. That's all you have to do. Draw
Yeah,
it
she'll
from the
draw it.
scabbard.
Yeah. He would draw it, and there would be no blade. It's just a hilt. Just enough of it is able to sit within the scabbard. But the hilt itself and the scabbard look identical to the sword.
Is that a replica?
Yes.
Unfortunately, we'll have to do without it. She'll put it back together. So she'll put it back together. Forgive me, my lord, but Neodan is going to see right through this. If anyone were to wield the sword, it would be him.
As soon as they find out that the sword's not real, they'll instantly distrust her.
I'll need to find another way. Perhaps I could just use that item. Say I went for the sword first. It could only leave with the skull, and I'd heard mention of this item that you needed.
Oh, are you sorry? Just to clarify, you're suggesting that you give them the information of what he's seeking to effectively have them retrieve it for him?
Yeah, and sort of using that as her
Extra way
negotiate.
to get
Yeah.
trust.
That could work. Then you would be free to continue to implement your new decrees. You would earn their trust by giving them information about something that would sabotage me. And at the nearest opportunity, perhaps you can deliver the original to me and leave a replacement in its place. For it should be quite useless to the rest of them, considering that none of them are vampires. They'd have no clue what it does.
Perhaps. I'll have to make this not too much of a lie, though. I don't doubt
It's
they'll have a
easier
way to.
to lie with the truth than it is to make something completely up.
Yes.
You would not be replacing it until after it had been retrieved. So up until that point, there would be no lie. It is something that I desire. You know that I need it for something important.
Indeed,
You've-
but I mean for this sword, not for the item. The entire reason they wanted the skull in the first place, aside from putting.
Oh, you what? You want the sword in exchange for the item?
No, so her thinking out loud. Part of why they needed the skull, the group originally, was because, like you were saying before, if they returned it, the knights were put to rest, and they could have the sword as a possible reward, which was another motivation for trying to get the skull. So that's what she's thinking about.
Yeah, the skull's essentially useless without the sword.
Yeah. Which is what she's saying out loud. So I need to make it look as if I at least tried to get the sword, whether I bring it or not.
Hmm.
Forgive me, my lord. I have put you in an awkward position.
I see. Well, you know what? I guess because that's kind of your own pitch, you can make a persuasion check.
Please. Please help me, please.
Hmm. Well then, here's what I think we'll do. I will return the sword to you. You will take the sword and the skull and return to your comrades. You will tell them whatever it is that you feel you need to tell them, so that they might believe you, accept you back within their ranks. And perhaps, if it would be inconvenient or more difficult for you at the current time, he would be looking towards Inigo, to acquire what I seek. Then we can use them to our advantage to go and acquire the item, so that it can be taken at a later time.
Very good, my lord.
I thank
But
you, my lord.
you're quite welcome. I'm feeling generous this evening. Um, so yeah, you would have the servant disappear with the fake. And he would say, when you go to depart on the morrow, the skull will be left beside the carriage, and Radine will bring the blade, as you well know the rest of us cannot bear the sight of it.
Yes, my lord.
Also might be a good idea to rough you up a little bit.
Hopefully not too much.
No, but enough to make it convincing. But I'll take care of that.
She looks genuinely worried for a moment.
There's a sadness in his eyes. He doesn't look like he's going to enjoy that, but there's very much like a it's for the best.
Do you mind if I fight back?
Why not make it fun?
Good.
Her main concern here is like that she gets to fight back as well, because this is really gonna suck if she just has to stand to take it.
Yeah.
Consider it a spar.
This will be interesting.
Well, my lord, I believe we should
turn in for the night, as we have a busy day tomorrow. Bright and early. Well, no, I wouldn't say bright and early, because that's not a thing here.
Yeah.
Well, you still would, because you spent time outside.
Nice and early, I would say.
Very well. Let us all retire to our chambers. Radin will show you the way. And Strahd would sort of like stand, flourish his cloak, and you would watch as he would just kind of like turn into silvery mist and zip on out of the room.
I can do that now, too.
How old does child look? Because Dorje wasn't there for that discussion.
She's like 8, 10.
Gertruda.
It was 8 or 10.
She is. Where the fuck is she? Where is Gertruda's sheet? I will tell you.
He's 10.
13 is what I have in my notes.
Yeah, 13. 13 should be right. Yeah.
Arabelle was 8, the one that Bluto threw in the water.
Yes.
Yes. She is, yeah, Gertruda's 13.
Dorje will just place a gentle hand over Gertruda's just to see how she reacts before she gets up.
Actually, she wouldn't leave. Yeah, she doesn't like. There's like a slight little like jump to being touched, but then she would just kind of look at you and smile and like, hello.
Hello.
Dinner was lovely, wasn't it?
It was.
And she just like turns her head and continues to stare off blankly.
Your mother misses you, Gertruda.
Samaya looks genuinely surprised.
You would see for the briefest moment she would like look and lock eyes with you. Mother. Oh, tell her I miss her too. And then it kind of like just fades again, and she goes back to staring. Now she's just kind of like staring blankly, like very wide-eyed, but not like scared wide-eyed, just like just wide-eyed at her like plate in front of her. The bride would get up and like come around and sort of like kind of gently grab her out of the chair and go, "Come, we must go." And she'd stand up and lead her off. Moldovan would stand up, look at the both of you, or at least you think look at the both of you, just because the shadowed opening of their cowl would turn from Inigo to Dorje and then back again. And you would hear a strangely indistinct voice would say, "The Dread Lord has put quite a large amount of trust in the two of you.
We shall use it well.
We will not disappoint him. You can be sure of that, Moldovan.
What I can be sure of is that each of you will be true to your own desires. But if you let them rule your hearts, then you will earn his ire. Be careful. Smart.
Is that
Part of
like
me wants
it? On one hand, that feels like a warning, but it also feels like advice
A warning.
to like if you want to betray him.
Can
Like
Yeah,
it feels
can-
like Moldovan is like giving us advice on like how to execute our plan.
I very much want to insight whatever this is.
I mean, yeah, you can go ahead, yeah.
God. Why?
Man,
What
we
are these
suck.
insight rolls tonight? Yeah, you're not sure.
It's like guys just saying nope, nope, spoilers.
Well, I bid you farewell, Inigo, Symia.
She'll
And then she
look
would
kinda
disappear.
surprised and then nod.
And by disappear, yeah. Actually, yeah, because I think did you cast the spell? Do you have access to teleport?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, that's how we got to
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Yeah. She would cast teleport and disappear.
I
must
look at my mother and I tap into the table the part of can't talk and I tilt my head.
So you've figured it out at this point. She will tap the table. Not here.
Okay. I guess I'll get up and start making our way to the room.
Yep.
Let's stand up and
Which-
follow.
I think I gotta. Where was it last time? Well, no Radine. Radine not here.
Radin with the rats.
Well, actually, let me ask this: do you plan on exploring the castle at all during the night?
I mean, I will as far as I'm allowed. I'm guessing Inigo and Mom want to have Inigo and Mom time.
Okay. All right. Because I was gonna say if you don't try to explore the castle, then I'm just gonna say it's the next day.
Yeah. I'll actually. I think you shouldn't explore the castle. I think we're pushing our luck as far as this is much already. Plus,
Is Inigo actually like panicking? This-
No, Inigo's not panicking. Inigo's just nervous because, well, his mom said don't trust him, and he listens to his mother.
Aww. He just is to his mom. No.
He's a huge mama's boy. If she told him to stop being a vampire, he'd stop being a vampire.
I'm just going to look for the courtyard. That is all.
This is gonna be hard because you're not gonna be in like one specific room. So here, I guess put Neo and Elena in here if you guys want to see something since we're on a
Nice.
different map now. Okay.
Good.
So I'll do I'll do Inigo and Mama, and then I'll do Dorje's explorations.
Sounds good.
All right. So you'd be led up to the room. This time, much more dusted out. Oh, and I'd say Helga would not be here. All right. You'd sit down. She'd sit at she'd sit at the edge of this bed. She'd look around, seemingly listen for a little bit. Well, it's been a while. Quite a while.
Sorry, Mother. It took me so long. But, I did it.
You came back to me. But it seems that you also you killed him, did you?
I had to. You weren't safe with him, alive. Well, as much as he could have been.
I know. But I never wanted that for you. You are my boy. I know it was delusional to think that you would remain a little boy forever, but as much of a monster as he was your father.
He was, but I mourn the father that was, but I'm glad the monster is dead.
But it seems that you paid the price. Do you really think it was necessary?
I need to be stronger. It's the only way I could. I wasn't strong enough. I needed to be stronger. I couldn't. I can't keep you safe if I'm not strong enough.
Your boy's strength is not something that always comes from yourself. It can come from others too. You come here with friends. Or did you come alone?
What does she mean by come here? Like come to Barovia or Ravenloft?
Barovia, you think?
Okay. Came here with a few.
And did you
Not
doubt them so
exactly
much?
on speaking terms at the moment. As when I revealed my nature, one of them turned on me.
Did you not think to rely on them before you made that choice? They proved to be wanting.
One of them, the one that turned on me, she's unreliably reliable.
Does not sound too bad.
You heard dinner. She's Faye, and I've always been careful with how I speak around her. But
He was your friend, no?
no, she was not my friend.
Never?
Um.
My son,
Uh.
do not lie to yourself.
She might have been once.
Now, is that
That deception is to himself,
okay? Okay.
but with his mother telling him.
Alright.
But not in a long time.
Sad. Just the friendship sour. What of the others? Even if she could not be relied upon.
Goliath, Neodon, he's not a trusting person.
Trust is not something easily given, it must be earned.
And Kai, Tiefling, he was a pain in the ass, but he was always there. Except when he wasn't. He was taken by werewolves. And then he came back.
She almost looked concerned for a second, like she was about to ask, does he still live? And then you're like, and then he came back.
Dorje, Symia, she's. Didn't meet her till came back, but she's the only one that kind of. Well, she is the only one that came with me when I left. After Elena turned on me.
Active. Did she betray you with words?
She used a spell on me to incapacitate me, and she made her opinions of undead very clear prior.
But did she attempt to kill you? Did any of them attempt to kill you when they found out what you had become?
I don't know exactly what her plan was.
Do you think perhaps that these people, My son, you can lie to yourself all you wish. But it seems like, as you have spoken of each of them, there was more care than you let on. But do you think that maybe they in turn cared for you the same, or if not more? And through this, they were afraid to see what you were becoming. They did not know perhaps how to react.
The others, maybe. Elena. No. No, she's dangerous. She's very dangerous.
Dangerous does not always mean bad. You would be considered dangerous now. But I do not think that you are bad. But then again, I am your mother, and I cannot help but see the best in you.
What happened to my uncle?
Many years ago, shortly after you were born, your uncle, I think he began to see things for what they really were. Your father tried to remain loyal. He wanted to serve the Count, pay back the debt he felt he incurred when he received the gift. Your uncle, he did not receive it. Not from him. How? I don't think I ever knew. I have forgotten some things with time. But that I am sure I did not know. But he was not bound like your father. The ties of blood, they matter. To them, it is like bond, but something more. It is hard to describe.
Control.
Control and to be controlled. But even more beyond that, there is... Your father spoke of it once. But your uncle, he could not be controlled. He was a rogue element. Your father was forced to put him down.
He left the gift for me. It's through him that I am what I am now.
And perhaps there is hope. If you decide that this is what you want to continue to be, at least you are not tied to him. But I fear to think what you may be tied to. The webs of fate weave in mysterious ways. Is there anything else you ask, Mama?
Not for now. I'll let her rest. I'll kind of keep watch overnight.
Okay.
As I don't need to sleep.
Yep, all right.
I will be a little bat up in the corner.
Just a little bad boy.
Yep. Or yeah, you know what? Actually, yeah, I'll be the mist that kind of like forms along the ground.
Okay. All right. Dorje, you shortly after arriving in the room, letting Inigo and his mother have some alone time, catch up. Sneak out into the hallway. You don't immediately see anything. Still very, very dusty, very cobwebby. Where you going? What you doing?
She
Avery?
died.
Oh, damn, she's not here.
She
muted.
pinged the map.
I just realized I was muted. Thank you guys. But yeah, she steps outside thinking she's gonna go to the courtyard, use that as an excuse to, look around, and then realize she's really stepped in it because she doesn't know which way to go now. But you know what? She'll use that as an excuse and go up the stairs, I guess.
Okay.
That was in fact not the way to the courtyard.
Oh,
Oh.
that's not. She
No.
doesn't know that
Oh
entirely.
no, I'm sorry. I misspoke. This arch corridor has been swept clean. Oak paneling decorates the walls to a height of 4 feet. Mounted. A staircase at the north end of the west wall ascends into darkness. You start.
Oh, it descends.
I don't
Am I
think it
reading the
literally
right thing?
descends. I think it just like the light cuts out.
Oof.
Okay.
Oh no, ascends. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
North end of the west wall ascends into darkness.
All right. I have dark vision. Is it magical darkness?
No. It's just gotta set the mood, the theme.
Ooh, spooky.
Ooh, scary Strahd. All right.
When she bumps into him, she can honestly say, "I'm looking for the courtyard."
All right. But yeah, you come up, and then let me put you. Oh man, I gotta find. Oh, that's where that is. Okay.
Oh no.
You are over here. Let me shift. Oh no, wrong one. Right there.
There. Okay. I want to get there. Stop.
Yo, Tiny Inigo!
Is Inigo the mist just following me? I thought he was spending time with Mom.
No, I'm watching my mom. I just so like my screen is not black because that does not make
Yeah.
video content.
Yeah, that's okay. So, as you come up the top of the stairs and you come to this location, give me a moment. Gotta read some shit there. Dark alcoves line the walls of this long hall. The ceiling has fallen here, leaving rubble strewn across the floor. Overhead, the beams of Ravenloft's roof are exposed. Lightning from the dark clouds above sporadically illuminate the hall, lighting the faces of life-sized human statues in the alcoves. Each visage is frozen in terror.
Would this be caused by a magical effect? Like, these are actual people that have been petrified?
Uh, uh, well, so you have dark vision.
I do, yeah.
So you would notice when the lightning doesn't flash, the expressions on their face change from utter horror to stoic and expressionless.
Now I'm really curious what this is. No, not athletics, arcana. What is this?
Okay. You come over and start like trying to get a grasp on if any portion of the weave here has been manipulated in any way, shape, or form. And you don't feel a manipulation of the weave, so to speak, but you feel presence. Presences, plural, presence.
Presents.
Presence. Yeah, but you feel, especially from the statue in front of you, you feel as if there's someone there.
Malicious or
That would be more of like a general vibe check, which I guess would be insight.
okay? Oof.
Can't tell one way or the other. Doesn't really particularly feel like any one strong emotion.
Except briefly for
Then-
terror.
Yeah. Then for now, she will back up and keep going.
Okay. See, you don't gotta. Okay. Yeah. So the sort of intersection would open up into a big area over here, and then other small way down there.
So go down the small way first, because from here it looks like as though it opens up somewhere. Don't want to find the courtyard too quickly, do we?
Gotta go away from big open
Curiosity killed the
areas.
Dorje.
And just lightly try the door. Is it locked?
The door is. Let me double check Reno. Yeah, they're unlocked.
Okay. She'll peek inside.
Okay. As you peek into this room, a blazing hearth fire fills this room with rolling waves of red and amber light. The walls are lined with ancient books and tomes, their leather covers well oiled and preserved through careful use. All is in order here. The stone floor is concealed beneath a thick, luxurious rug. In the center of the room is a large, low table, waxed and polished to a mirrored finish. Even the poker in its stand next to the blazing fireplace is polished. Large, overstuffed divans and couches are arranged about the room. 2 chairs of burgundy-colored wood with padded leather seats and back cushions face the hearth. A huge painting hangs over the mantelpiece in a heavy gilded frame. The rolling firelight illuminates the carefully rendered portrait. It is in an exact likeness of Irina Kolyana.
Irina Kolyana, that's um
The Burgermeister's daughter
Yeah.
from Barovia.
hmm. Well, fidelity doesn't seem to be a word in his language. And she will back out of the room because too many doors, she cannot excuse that. And once the cameraman leaves the room, she will close the door.
Okay.
And oh, the open space! Maybe the courtyard is this way. No, it's not, it's a balcony.
Okay, alright. So you walk into the open space. Give me a moment here. Uh, yeah. A mosaic floor adds a touch of color to the otherwise dark, cold, empty tower that rises above you. A spiral staircase rises slowly into darkness, hugging the outer wall. In the center of the room, another set of stairs leads down. And then when you walk out onto that balcony, oh my god.
Far up are we?
You stand on a 10-foot wide walkway that encircles most of the keep. The drizzling of rain continues, punctuated by the occasional clap of thunder or stroke of lightning. Far below these parapets are the shining wet cobblestones of the courtyard. I believe you are... How high up would you be? You are about... I want to say 30, but it's probably more than 30. I'd say it's probably more like... Because at least on the first floor, a lot of the rooms on the first floor are very high vaulted ceilings, about 15 to 20 feet. So I mean, like, if the overall height of the first floor is like, let's call it 15 feet, probably that for like each of them. So you're about 45-ish, 50 feet up.
Right. Well, she was looking for the courtyard. She can no longer say that she wasn't. And just conveniently miss it, so she will step up onto the wall, polymorph into a magpie, and just sort of fly around the courtyard for a little bit.
Okay. All right.
There are windows looking out into the courtyard.
Any windows looking out into the
Because
courtyard?
she's going to be doing a spiral, sort of taking her time down.
From this side of the building, let me go look at the previous maps and see if there were. Surprisingly, there's like one window. Oh, what map are you on? You're on map. Okay. I got
Seriously,
my
just one
fucking...
window?
Yeah, so I got my height wrong because I'm looking at the map 3, which I'm pretty sure is, yeah, that's the ground floor with the dining room. It says at one of the staircases 50 feet up to map 4. You're on map 5. How fucking high up is map 5?
Pretty freaking high.
Enough to kill a commoner.
Yeah. Actually, might be enough to kill me.
No, wait a second. Now that doesn't make sense. One of these is 50 feet up to map 4, the other one's 30 feet up to map 4.
Wait, so I just sidestepped 4 floors of the building?
Um,
Not 4, 3. Yeah.
so you were no, okay. So how do I put this? From map 3, which map 3 is floor 1 interior. Because map 2 is outside ground floor exterior. So from the dining room, because I took you to the same spot that he led you to last time, he would have taken you out of the dining room, led you up the spiral staircase, which that spiral staircase says 50 feet up to map 4. And then map 4 is what you were on. Yeah, so 50 feet up to map 4. He came out into that room with the fucking tax collector guy through the throne room, and then he walked you through that hallway and then the secret door to bring you to the room where you had stayed previously and where Inigo and his mother currently are. And then
So that's 100
you.
feet.
So wait, hold on.
Like 80 to
50.
90 feet.
No, yeah, it's 90 feet exactly. Yeah, 50
I-
feet, 50 feet up to map 4, and then from map 4 to 5 is another 40 feet. Yeah, you're 90 feet up on top of the parapet here.
Alright, that changes things a little bit then.
But yeah, you only see one window on this entire side of the building. And I mean, if you're flying down into the courtyard over here, you see none. If you're flying down to the courtyard over here, you see the one.
The
That's
attacks
it.
by the windows here.
Yeah. Me being stupid, I kind of want to go up to the window, but at the same time, I also don't want to die. Uh, wait, but there's 2 courtyards. Does that mean that there's others? She'll fly up to the top of Ravenloft and just sort of look down for a bit.
I gotta I'll does that reveal anything that it's not supposed to reveal? I think we had. Oh yeah, I had previously shown you guys this map. I'm just gonna move you right back here real quick.
Alright.
So I'm gonna take your token, slowly move it. You would have been like, if I bring you here, this is where you are outside, 90 feet up, and then that's that portion of the front part of the courtyard. So I guess technically there's like the courtyard around the main curtain walls. There's like it's broken into 4. Yeah. So then there'd be the other side over here. And then
Alright.
where you're seeing the one window, oh my god, you just got stretched.
What?
Yeah, I stretched your token. The one window that you're seeing is like right over here on the ground floor of this portion of the building.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, there are no other windows at all on this side of the building.
Now, if it's ground floor, I'm guessing there are guards um around the courtyard.
Yeah, you would see what appear to be or actually yeah, you would. You would see Beowulf patrolling.
Yeah, I think she'll continue to fly for a little bit. Is it worth? Yeah, the window's on the ground floor. She'll go by the window. At least do a flyby scan.
Okay. One Let me look at where that's supposed to be. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah. You would be able to peek in there. I would say, from what you can see, which is not a lot through these dirt-caked windows, is there appears to be a bunch of broken, you think maybe furniture? There's just a lot of debris, like broken furniture and torn cloth seem to be like strewn about the floor.
Okay. She's gonna come back up. And you know, at this point she would still have some time with the bird form, so she'll fly through the castle. She'll come up first through the way that she came. Just fly.
Oh, okay. Oh, and then you're just, what, flying back to the room?
Yeah, she'll fly back to the room for now. Because Inigo does have a point on, like, not... Like, we pushed our luck a little bit tonight. Let's not push it too far.
Okay. Alright, I'll say you flutter back down the stairs, and just about the point that you would land on the floor next to the door, you would watch as seemingly like coming out of this wall here, there appears to be a doorway, and Helga would walk back in and just start just sweeping. She is very consumed with the task. She just sweeps.
Come inside. Where's Inigo?
You see the mist kind of condense into his form from the ground and rises out of it. I was just practicing some new abilities I got.
That is remarkable.
She's practicing being edgy. No.
Now, edgy would be if I did that at the shadows,
Yeah,
which I've
yeah,
already
yeah.
done.
Yes. And I'd say at this point, Inigo's mother is very soundly asleep in one of the beds.
Keeping her voice low. I must say, courtyard is disappointing.
Thought that would be the case.
I have no idea what you said.
I thought that would be the case.
How is she? Your mother?
Older, but well, probably just as wise, if not wiser, than I last talked to her.
That's good. At least something is going well. Hopefully the rest will too.
Yeah, you definitely should get some rest. You're only recently deceased. You're still recently deceased.
Agreed. She lays down in the bed, still thinking over what she has seen and hasn't seen of the castle, because she only went so far. How much time would you say have passed by now?
I mean, that's a bit of a walk up. I mean, and you were kind of taking your time. And it's not like you were like running everywhere. So, yeah, I feel like you could have explored everything that you saw in like an hour or so.
Okay. So, if a watch is 2.5 hours, I've still got an hour and a half to do shit.
If you want to, yeah, I mean, if you want to go back out and explore, and I mean, if Inigo wants to actually take a watch,
Yeah, I'm watching.
all right, roll me a perception check.
All right. She's gonna go back out. She won't say anything this time.
Okay.
She'll just look a bit antsy and then. You know what? Hang on.
Yeah, you would know that both of these are here now, so I'm just gonna.
Yeah. And she'd know how to open this one by now.
Yeah.
Uh, I'm guessing this is servants' quarters. She's just sweeping, right?
Yeah, she's just sweeping. She's like meticulous with it. She's like slowly, like she started at the bottom of the stairs and then kind of just like went like. And then like once she got here, she just started going like this way, and she's
Alright.
about here now.
Alright. She'll shake the dust off her boots before she comes up, and then we'll step this side.
Okay.
Come
Kind of
up
like
here,
sweeps
and
behind you a little bit.
she'll just reach for the door, see how she reacts.
Doesn't seem to
Okay.
do anything.
Alright, good. Opens the door.
All right. That would bring you. Yep. This
This takes
long, narrow corridor runs east to west. Cobwebs fill the hall, obscuring sight beyond a few feet.
Helga, not Helga. Helga seems like a very clean person.
So the cobwebs kind of start here and then go that way. But from like the door to here, it's a clear path.
Let's see. I've already used polymorph once. It's polymorph. An hour. Okay. You know what? Yeah, why not? She'll take a peek down the side.
As you come out into this area, you would once more see that mosaic spiral staircase stretching both downward and upward, equally into darkness.
She's already seen the upward one.
It went further on
Oh,
the
it did?
previous floor. Oh,
Ah.
yeah. Yep. Up and down both.
Let's see. 1 for down, 2 for up. Going down.
Okay. Which will bring you to this map.
Yes.
And I believe, yep, should be right about here.
Right about where? There.
Hold on, I'm trying to.
I got it. Ooh, almost dead on.
In case Inigo wants to put his little cameraman.
Ah!
There we go.
Yep, there you go. Cameraman has returned.
Hallway or deeper? hallway. Okay.
Okay. Once you sort of come around that corner, same thing. Whole thing is filled with cobwebs.
Alright, I shall save that for later, and we're going down.
Okay. Um. Give me a second. I need to get my story straight. All right. Oh yeah, you head down. All right. Where is this? Oh, that's where that is. Oh boy.
And she's trying to make it look like as though it's that she's just struggling to sleep, so she's wandering to pass the time kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Ah. Thank you.
Cameraman return to size. Okay. Now I gotta go deep. I gotta go deep in the book. Give me a second. There we go. This. Yeah. This dark passage runs for 20 feet, connecting an archway to the west with an ascending stone staircase to the east. To the north and the south are 4 10-foot square alcoves cluttered with rotting cots and dirty rags. The ceilings here are covered with yellow lichen.
Lichen.
And lichen? Lycanthrope?
Tomato, tomato.
And as you come into this area, this 30-foot square room is in shambles. Scattered furniture lies in heaps near the wall. Broken bones lie scattered amid crumpled and crushed plate armor. Shields and swords jut from the walls as if driven into them by some tremendous force. 2 doors stand opposite one another in the center of the north wall and south wall. A dark archway leads out through the eastern wall, which is where you just came from. You also notice that there are a lot of scratch marks, like
Yeah.
claw marks dug into the gobble.
Do they look like they were caused by like a werewolf or lichen creature?
Make a nature check. Also, what's your passive perception?
That's 17.
17.
Oh
Okay.
man. Passive nature.
You start investigating them, and you're thinking about it, and then you just feel something like you hear a drip, and then like a liquid sort of splatter, and then you feel like warmth on your shoulder, and you just kind of like slowly put your hand there, and it feels like saliva, and you're like, ugh.
I know where that is. And she's just going to take a deep breath. Stand up. I see I have intruded.
And you would see
Apologize.
hanging from the roof above you. At this point, I need your roll initiative.
I was gonna try and escape, but okay.
If you have a means, well, you could still try and escape. Just because combat starts doesn't mean you can't try to run away. Running away is entirely an option.
Me and my. Why is my. Oh, that's why my initiative's shit.
My fucking dumbass. Oh my god.
I so completely forgot.
Oh, not good initiative, huh? Yeah. All right. And you've fought one of these before. You recognize this. You would hear its large claws scraping across the ceiling, and it would release itself, and you'd hear like a brief whoosh of air. And then surprisingly, you'd think it would be quite a heavy thud when it hit the ground. Not as heavy as you'd think. Strangely lithe. But it begins to stand up from a crouch, and that is Strahd's sheet, and I am not going to attack you with Strahd's claws. My god.
Thank you very much. I would die
That would be
again.
not good right now. But yeah, it is going to make a series of it's going to attempt to bite you first.
Silver barbs.
Okay.
Miss.
Okay, and I imagine since you're the only person there besides the cameraman, you're going to give yourself the advantage.
Yep.
And then it's going to make 2 claw attacks.
That hits.
And
That
now.
also hits.
Alrighty.
It's better to avoid the bite.
That's true.
Yeah.
So,
For a total of 21 slashing.
21? Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. Just for fun, she's going to. Let's see. Would the Varg count as a monster?
You've fought these before. They act like monsters, but they are technically a type of lichen, and weirdly enough, lichens are humanoids.
So I should have gotten charm person. Well, shit.
Is that one just
Charm,
for-
Charm Monster works on humanoids.
It does?
Yeah, monster.
This is a
The
creature.
monster works on everything except on depending if it's hold monster. It doesn't work on undead.
Alright. She will. Where is it? There it is.
Yeah, just think of like charm monster and hold monster as the beefier version of hold person, and
Yeah.
hold
Yeah,
and
sure.
charm person.
She will charm monster. I forget. No, I'm not upcasting it. I am extending it.
Standing it, okay.
The last 2 hours.
Yeah.
Well, it's 2 hours, and he's got to make a wisdom save DC 17. Yeah, I mean, I figured that was going to happen. He does not. Ah. Okay, I'd almost forgotten.
Oh no.
So let's just see, since this is like right here exactly at this point. I need you to make a wisdom save first.
Oh shit. Oh Lord help me.
Oh no, sorry. Curse with Weirlith lycanthropy. I'm stupid. Don't pay attention to that.
Wait, I pass.
That didn't happen. But yeah, you would have passed. I'm stupid because the bite didn't go through. And you didn't get infected. Alright, yeah. You charm him. Right after this thing attempts to bite you, you nimbly dodge out of the way. It rakes its claws across you. And you're like, I cannot continue to deal with that. So you hit him with that, and he just kind of stops.
She'll just cup her hand over his snout and then touch her forehead to his.
Oh wait,
Keep it
wait.
for a panicking horse. Not a
Does
panicking.
so
But
with advantage. I don't think it'll save. Never mind. Okay, I'm so sorry. I didn't expect that you were gonna run into this thing, so I didn't read things right. But
I could still rebarms it again though because it's my turn.
you could. Yeah, you can. You can.
Yeah.
All right. It fails. Okay. All right. So yeah, you do your thing. I'm sorry.
You're good.
But yeah, it just kind of sits there. It doesn't attack.
Good boy, I think.
So these things, every previous time I've encountered them, they've been like highly irrational, like entirely instinctual creatures that didn't seem capable of anything other than like wanting to eat and spread their curse. It sits there. It almost strangely looks happy, which you didn't know that they could be. Its tail wags a little bit when you call it a good boy, questioningly. And yeah, and it just kind of sits there and it looks at you. As if, I don't know, maybe expecting something.
Yeah, she'll give him a treat. She has some dried meat in her bag.
Treat? Okay. Treat?
Right, this
No.
thing is friendly for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Treat scritches. Now.
Well, you definitely have fleas now.
Oh, 100%. But she will say, now, I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I'm very scared. Because in a couple of hours, you might remember this and see me as your enemy. Please don't. I want to be your friend. Okay?
It like cocks its head to the side, looks at you strangely.
I guess that would be a persuasion check at advantage.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I think they can understand. Yeah, they can.
Lord help me.
Okay. You want to be friend?
I will not be staying for the 2 hours, but
You want to be friend? It will walk over here, look back towards you, kneel over, start digging in the pile of debris, tossing random pieces of wood, gnawed on bones, until eventually it turns back around and slowly lopes over to you with a key in its mouth.
Bryce, she'll take the key. Thank you. Beautiful. What does it unlock?
It would point its snout in the direction of the southern door.
Okay.
here, and she'll give him another piece of dried meat.
You're a very friendly one.
He will happily eat it.
And she'll come up and unlock the door.
Alrighty.
Holy shit.
Okay. Dark stains cover the floor of this area. Large oak tables, scarred and beaten, lay scattered like toys about the room, their wood crushed and splintered. Replacing them are furnishings made entirely of human bones. The wall and the 20-foot high vaulted ceiling are a sickly yellow color, not because of faded or time worn plaster, but because they are adorned with bones and skulls arranged in a morbidly decorative fashion, giving the room a cathedral like quality. 4 enormous mounds of bones occupy the corners of this ossuary, and garlands of skulls extend from these mounds to the chandelier of bones that hangs from the ceiling, above a long table constructed of, you guessed it, bones in the center of the room. 10 chairs made out of what else could it be but bones, and festooned with decorative skulls, surround the table. Resting atop which is an ornate bowl-shaped vessel made of yet more bones. The doors to the north and south are sheathed in bone, but the steel-banded double doors in the center of the east wall are not. Above these eastern doors is mounted the skull of a dragon.
I feel like as though I just walked into what should be an Indiana Jones video game. Huh. Is it the skull of a dragon? The one that I'm supposed to be leaving?
This looks like the skull. And it is mounted over these doors.
So this is his trophy room. You, my dear, looking to the Varger, have quite the master.
It rolls over.
Give him some scritches on the belly. I'll be right back. And she will step through. Does this place have a smell to it? Because if so, she's stepping right back out.
I guess. What do fucking bones smell like?
Well, it wouldn't be the bones that would be smelling, and actually, I'm gonna Google that one in a second, but it wouldn't be the bone smelling, it would be mainly any flesh that was still left on them when they were...
Oh, these are clean. It seems as though the bones and skulls are held together with what appears to be a gray mortar and white paste. And any dark stains on the floor are old blood stains.
The bones apparently smell earthy.
Yeah, just musty.
Yeah, it's kind of disturbing. For me, at least.
There's so many bones.
Compost. Ground fertilizer. Okay. Yeah, she'll come down here. Are these doors locked?
They are, in fact, locked.
Okay. Is this door locked?
Yes.
Alright. She's not gonna try any of them? She's pretty sure she's seen enough. So she'll come back out. Right over here. Some more scritches and playing with her friend. And then she will bid her goodbye, give him one last treat, and go up the stairs. Oh, wait, hold on before then. She will close and lock the door.
You know, I was just gonna... Okay, good. Very good. Alright.
Just to avoid suspicion, should she? Yeah, no, she's keeping the key. Oh wait, no, wait. She'll ask the Warger if his master
asks for the key every once in a while.
Yeah, it understands you. It shrugs.
Alright, she will take that as a no. A little scritch and kiss on the forehead, and then go upstairs, really quickly shaking her clothes free of lice and then picking them off of her. Once she's out.
Okay. All right. You would hear like a slight disappointed whimper when you leave. He does not seem to follow.
Cody, I'll come back.
Um,
Good night.
and dude, make me. Do you just walk back, or like do you try to stealth at all?
I don't really see much of a reason to stealth.
Okay. All right.
If people interact with her, she'll take advantage of it.
Hey, just for me a d20.
Okay.
Okay. You eventually make it back up.
Nico sees the scratches from the fucking claws. He's like, what the fuck?
Oh, yeah,
Stop.
she'd be gone by now. She's on to the next area.
Here, close the door. I made a friend. Goes into bed and sleeps.
I'm gonna make sure she doesn't leave this time. I don't know why you left last time, but
Yeah. And with your perception for that whole time that she was gone, the only thing you heard, besides the occasional thunder and lightning outside, oh, excuse me, occasional thunder and lightning outside, and like the pitter patter of rain, you would have just heard Helga sweeping the hallway and occasionally mumbling to herself. But yeah, the night would go by. You would awaken in the morning, having had, yeah, I guess effectively a long rest. I mean, yeah. I mean, it depends on how long Samaya sleeps in, but I mean, like, I think it still should be a.
Yeah, 'cause she wasn't gone for more than one watch, so she still would have gotten a full night's sleep.
Oh yeah, because you're yeah. Elf.
I was
Okay.
very purposeful on that one.
half elf.
Oh yeah, half elf. Yep. Okay. I'll move you. I'll move you to here works.
Where? Oh, there.
Yeah, you're just this one's the. Where are you? You shouldn't be here. Come
I know I
over.
should.
Oh God! You turned upside down. What the fuck? All right. Morning would come. Your yeah. Sorry. Oh yeah, let me go to the initiative. So effectively morning would come. You'd eventually be let outside. Your mother would take a little bit longer. Just kind of like, like slow going it. And you'd probably like insist to carry her or something like that, and she'd get real stubborn about it and be like, "Look, my legs still work. Let me just walk. It'll be fine."
I wouldn't have if she seemed confident in moving. I wouldn't have insisted to carry her.
Okay. No, I'm just because it takes her a bit. But eventually she'd come down, and meet you outside, unless you. I mean, you trust her enough to fucking find you out front, right?
Also a mama's boy. He hasn't seen his mom in.
He'll
15
help her
years.
down the stairs. He won't carry her, but like he'll help her down the stairs.
Okay. All right.
I don't know why you jumped to carry.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Because maybe like wanting to be out of here, wanting to get her out of here because you don't think that it's safe for her here? You know, in expediency? I don't know. Fucking
Mom,
whatever.
the more likely it is they'll take you away again. Let's go.
Yeah. So eventually they bring the carriage around. And Radine, he'd come out with you'd see a mongrel folk dragging along the skull, and then just kind of like then trying to take it and tie it onto the top of the carriage.
No. It's okay. Just leave it here.
Okay, well thing. Whatever you say, Mum. And he'll just kind of like limp away.
It's far from Kresk.
Yes. Cyrus. What a useful creature. But Radine would turn to you, Inigo, and you may want to look away. Perhaps at a bit of a distance.
Yeah, I'm not far enough along in my transformation to where it's negatively harmful to my health, but it's just uncomfortable. I'll be fine. Redeem.
If you insist. And you would see the platinum hilt as he would just very quickly draw it, and the bright light would begin to emanate from it, and very quickly he would just close it back again.
Was
and
that
hand
sunlight?
It was. I mean, yeah, you would. Does it hurt you?
It doesn't hurt me. It's just it's very uncomfortable because I have sunlight sensitivity.
Comfortable.
He has disadvantage on perception and attacks. And
Yeah.
Can I flashbang Inigo?
I would say that
Sure.
yeah, it would make you uncomfortable.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, if you want to.
That's what I'm gonna do when we spar.
Okay. But yeah, he'd go. Well, here are the items. You know what you're meant to do. Don't disappoint.
I will do my best. And she'll take it and strap it to her belt, I guess.
Okay. And you'd notice that Radine would bow to Inigo's mother. It was a pleasure having you here, and I'm sad to see you go. Well, thank you, Radine. And he'll turn around and head back in.
Okay.
You ready?
I think so.
Probably for the sake of expediency, because this has gone on a bit longer than I thought it would. We could probably
Yeah.
just theater to
Yeah.
mind the combat.
Okay. You spar a little bit. Which you actually want to flashbang him during that? you
Yes,
flashbang him.
at the end and then teleporting out.
Okay. Yeah. So you get a bit roughed up, and you teleport out, which yeah, I forget how you were doing it. Were you just holding on to the skull, or were you like animating it or something?
Yeah, it was this.
Animate object. Okay.
Animate object on the thing to make it a creature technically, and then teleport with it.
Okay. And then I'll try to expedite this last little bit here. So you teleport, and you're teleporting to the abbot, right? To the abbey.
Yep.
Okay. So
Right in his
Who has
body.
specifically been warned about.
yeah. All right. So you bamf into the middle of what is effectively his dining room. Dragon skull in hand, and maybe even the sun sword too, unless you've
Yep.
put that away after
I mean,
the
I think the sun
flashbang.
sword's still active because she flashed it and teleported.
Actually, can you use it?
I thought
Like,
would have had to
it's not
return
a
to it.
sun sword. It's the sun blade. So it no, it's not a sun blade. It's a sun. It's
No,
the
it
sun
is the sun sword. Yeah,
So
the
it-
sun sword
it
requires
doesn't-
attunement.
Yeah, but you take it out of the scabbard and it still kind of glows because you don't turn it on like you do a normal sunblade. Because it.
Yes, you do. It has the properties of the Sunblade.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. However, it is gained
literally on the
properties of a
sheet.
sun blade. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said it was
It's
like
a broken hilt.
I thought it was a crystal blade in place of. the
No,
actual sword.
no. The sun sword is a unique blade once possessed by Strahd's brother. In its original form, it had a platinum hilt and guard and a thin crystal blade as strong as steel. But that was replaced, and it said the hilt, which is sentient, knows that it can never be reunited with its original crystal blade, as however gained the properties of a sun blade.
Yep.
Okay.
It's just a sentient Sunblade.
Okay. Never
Yeah.
mind.
Yeah,
Of
so
historical significance.
I'll say that like you could have pulled it out, and the oh yeah, no, so it wouldn't have. Yeah, it doesn't glow. You wouldn't have had time to attune to it either. All right, so yeah, you just so Ixnay on the feeling the sunlight thing. Sorry, yeah, that didn't.
Well, Rahadain could have been attuned to
Wait,
it.
could we have
just
had an
to prove
hour
a point.
Oh wait, no, because she.
Yeah, that's true. He could have been. All right, yeah, you would have felt for when he did it, but yeah.
Let me quickly double check something. 5e2. Because I just realized she's proficient in simple weapons, not.
Martial, yeah. This would be a
Yeah.
martial weapon.
Yeah, longsword is martial.
Yeah, you wouldn't. I mean, long sword or short sword for sunblade.
This
Long-
one is
but the
specifically a long
sun
sword.
sword is a longsword.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is specifically a longsword.
But it has
So
the
while
properties of a sunblade, which requires proficiency in short sword and longsword or longsword.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay.
I give it up.
Yeah, it
So
says in its description if you are proficient with short
Yep.
swords or long swords.
Yeah, if you waited an hour after, you definitely could have waited an hour to attune to it to use it in the fake fight.
Yeah, she could.
If
I think
that's
what
what
she would do.
you would have wanted to do.
But what happened was the reason why I thought I would be able to use it was because I misread Warcaster because it says you can perform semantic components while holding weapons or shield.
Oh, and you
so I
thought that made you able to use weapons and shields.
Yeah. Yep, but it is fine. I will survive. I also discovered I had more than just advantage on Constitution saving throws. But
Okay.
yeah.
But you appear with these things. Seemingly as like Clarence is coming back in, like fetching water, you think maybe for like a bath or something. And then he just stops, looks at you, looks at all of your nonsense, and I think y'all already dropped off Periwinkle at this point, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd hear from upstairs, "Are you bringing the water?" Oh wait, no, he already
He's
cured him,
cured.
right? Yeah. Are you going to bring the water? It's kind of cold up here. Yes. Hold on.
No,
I
give him the water now. I'll still be here. We need to talk.
I'm not listening to you. Also, I have a situation down here, Periwinkle.
Very Wimple.
You are absolutely. What is this fucking string of numbers being? God damn it.
It links to the what he knew from the letter I sent him. If you click it, did that not work? Oh, it did
No,
not.
no, it's just a string of numbers.
Well,
You. No. Nope. Nope. And he like pulls out a mace. I'm gonna get to bonking.
She holds up the sword, still shining. This wouldn't be working if I was evil. And I think you know that.
I mean,
Bye,
above
you're
board.
really thick in the head, aren't you?
You. Hold on. I gotta jump to this.
the second one is his reply.
Yeah. I remember that. Yeah. And then. Okay. All right. He's like holding the mace, and the mace is like kind of starting to glow with similar light to your sword. And he just goes, No. I'm not going to have you trick me. You and that funny little vampire friend of yours are bad guys. You are working with Strahd, and I am his
Is exact-
enemy.
Which is exactly why I need to speak with you. And my former companions.
That doesn't logic.
I know it doesn't.
logic.
What do you have? What do you want to say to them?
The math ain't mathin'.
I need to
What?
apologize.
Apologize. Oh man. Okay. Yeah, I think it's gonna take a lot more counseling than just a simple apology and some whatever these things are. Why do you have a skull?
Because without the skull, Neodon will not feel very comfortable wielding this. Holding up the sword. Or holding out the sword. Did I say Inigo or Neo?
Neo. You said
Said
Neo
Neo.
Dawn specifically.
I don't like this. I don't like that you're here.
If it makes you feel any better, Strahd can't come here.
That. I made damn sure that he couldn't come here.
More importantly, anyone he sends after me can't come here.
This is true.
So, why would I come into, from your understanding, enemy territory alone?
Because
Unless it
you're
wasn't for you.
insane. Like me.
He looks somewhere between confused and a little bit concerned. No. Maybe, but not like you.
We're all a little crazy. Some of us more than others.
That is fair. But I don't know what else I can say. The things I had prepared to say, it was for them, but these would be safer in your possession until they arrive.
You're just going to give it to me.
No, I'm not. I am staying right here with these things. But in the meantime, these are yours. To guard with me.
Right. Okay. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna bring Periwinkle his bathwater. You're gonna stay here and not touch anything or go anywhere. Or do anything suspicious or I'll bonk you. And then, when your frenemy, former, when the complicated people return, you may have your heart-to-heart here, but I will not be your goddamn therapist. And the only reason I'm not killing you right now is out of respect to your father and the promise that I made him years ago. Do you understand me?
Sir raises an eyebrow. You didn't strike me as someone who kept promises. But very well.
I'm nothing if not a man of my word. Goodbye. And then he goes upstairs.
As he goes upstairs, she'll just say under her breath, "You're also a prick, but all right." And she'll sit with the skull,
Okay.
and he'll be there waiting for when the others arrive.
All right.
Gonna be really awkward.
So I think it would be like, would it be that day or would it be a day later?
It'll be a day later.
Okay.
Before.
Because y'all stayed the night in Valaki and over there.
Yeah, so we were on day 3, and then
We'd spend the night in the Amber Temple.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Okay, so she has to wait a day.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, we'd be coming back like mid to late morning the next day.
All right. So I'll say that over the course of like the next day, you would just see like Clarence going through his usual duties, occasionally going out onto the balcony to harass Zalant, and you think at one point or another he flame strikes a couple of vampires that get too close. You hear him mumbling to himself about saltpeter, and then saying that he really, really, really needs it so that he can make things go a boom. Periwinkle would just kind of like come around, and he would like be like kind of weird, almost like a how do I put it? Like a semi concerned individual who doesn't actually know you. Like he would just like be like, you know, I heard that your friends, well, former friends, they might not be too happy when they see you, so maybe you should try, I don't know, talking in a calm voice, or maybe
He's not
leading with an
dumb.
apology.
He's fixed,
No.
remember?
No, he's not. No, I'm not having him talk.
To be smart for the first time.
He just doesn't know how bad it is.
Yeah, he just doesn't know how bad it is.
Okay.
So maybe, you know, try talking to him in a nice voice, or, but you got to take it slow and make sure that you listen. Listening is always important. And yeah, and then eventually,
Maya has, like, as he's talking, she has that look of like, "Oh, buddy, no, that will kill me."
And then Neo, Apollo, Ziva, and Elena,
And a wagon.
and a wagon
Chariot,
And a
actually.
lot of money.
would total recall. Total recall? Word of
Word
recall.
of recall.
You would
recall
you would
word.
you would total recall Chris Vectors in your hands appear within the
We come bearing gifts.
within the courtyard and yeah, where is it? Where is it? Location.
I'm so sorry,
Location.
guys. It took so long.
Well, Dylan, technically, before we would have teleported,
Yes.
I have to keep my word on something.
Oh yeah.
Uh, So I would need to let the Raven out down there and tell it that it just needs to be in Kresk by the end of the day. If it doesn't want to be trapped forever.
The Raven.
But my Raven figurine.
Oh yeah.
Because to get it to go into the cave and scout for us, I told it that the next time I was able to summon it, I would just let it do whatever it wanted for the time it could be out.
Okay. Yeah. Why is? Oh my god! You're all the way over here. Oh my god! Searching again.
Hey.
You'd be in there. You'd be in there. You'd be out here. He would be. Oh, that's the other thing. At some point or another, Kai would have come down, saw that you were here, refused to speak with you.
I thought he was in Barovia.
But- Did he go?
No,
Did he stay in
went-
Barovia? I thought he came here with you guys.
He came to Kresk. He did.
Oh, he came?
Yeah, he came to Kresk.
His.
Yeah.
You find more use here.
Yeah, he would refuse to speak to you.
Makes sense.
Which doesn't last very long because it's a lot of him talking at you but not with you, and then ignoring you if you deigned to respond to him. So like he would just be like, you're the worst for betraying us. Don't even know what was going through your head at that time. And then, like, if you even went to say anything, he would just turn away from you and pretend like he wasn't listening.
She would try once. She wouldn't say anything. She would just try and point towards the skull and the sword. And then when he turns away, she's like, alright. Doesn't even address it after that.
You'd hear him mumble under his breath. Just because you bring presents doesn't mean that everything's okay again.
I know it.
I wasn't talking to you.
Who said that? Looking around.
But yeah, I don't know. Do I have a fucking Periwinkle token? I think I do. Oh my god, I do. It's just a gladiator.
Periwimple's a gladiator?
He is now.
Oh yeah, actually. No, like he actually is, yeah. But yeah. You would all arrive and the abbot would just come like screaming outside. Situation. Brace
What's happening?
yourselves for massive impact.
Wait, are they about to launch an assault on the? Are they about to launch an assault on the town?
We almost missed the
No.
fight? What?
No. You must understand. She's here.
Who?
Who?
The one that must not be spoken of.
Strahd's a she?
I was gonna
Oh, you
say.
fucking idiot! Not Strahd. Samaya, she's here.
She's here.
Yes.
What?
Yes, she showed up yesterday.
Was she
armed? Wait, is she incapacitated, bound somewhere?
No, I'm not doing
You-
all that nonsense.
You just let her roam.
She hasn't really gone anywhere. I told her that if she went anywhere, I'd bonk her. As he, like, pulls up his mace.
Well, where is she now?
So that means you've been watching her. Who's gonna bonk her now that you're out here?
Oh, Periwinkle will bonk her. Or maybe Kai. But then again, Kai's not talking to her and refuses to look at her when it's... Yeah.
I'm following.
Immediately
Apollo's in-
runs up. I don't
Policy.
character.
Is this Apollo or Donson currently?
Apollo. There's no yellow dot.
even after that news.
No,
Oh my god, that's why I couldn't see
Why?
Ziva! She was so tiny!
Why is I tiny?
I don't know. Shit's fucked. No. Donson doesn't know Samaya. Apollo does.
Okay.
And Apollo wasn't betrayed by her. He wants to hear her out.
Samaya just sits there, the skull at her side and the sword before her.
Samaya?
And because it's been a day, it looks completely better from the fight.
Marks. Still marks.
Probably bruising, but
No scars.
She was
Yeah,
roughed
I
up
mean-
when she got here.
I mean, maybe a scar on her neck from when she... But... Hello? I'm really sorry. What am I looking at?
Samaya, I think you probably should explain things. Why you left with Inigo and why you're back with what appears to be the skull of a dragon and a fancy sword that's broken.
I don't expect any of you to fully understand why it is that I left with Inigo, though I'm sure some of you looks over at Elena could take a guess as to why. I came back because these two, the skull and the sword, she looks to Neo, belongs to you.
No, it doesn't.
Well, they will, once the skull is returned to where it's supposed to be. And I also
and the
came
sword.
to apologize. You didn't deserve me leaving without giving word.
I want to insight if I can see if
For it.
she seems genuinely sorry or if these are just empty words.
Go for it.
Yo.
She is genuinely sorry, but you could tell that she's weighing her words to a certain extent. Not necessarily that she's lying, but she's trying to figure out how to say what she's trying to say.
Okay.
She also looks very uncomfortable with the situation.
So you left to get the sword that No, you left to get the skull for the sword?
I did, and I almost lost the sword in the process.
Yeah, Apollo.
Apollo believes that.
I mean, I wasn't with you guys when this all happened. I only showed up afterwards.
But
I mean, she's here with the stuff that you needed, so I guess things worked out.
Not entirely, Apollo. I
Oh, what do you
broke-
mean?
She's just gonna sit there and watch them, trying to prepare for whatever happens next.
Not answering the question.
what do you mean? Yeah, what do you mean?
Oh, I didn't hear that at all.
Yeah. What do you mean?
The day that I left, we discovered as a group just how far Inigo had gone to try and protect his mother. He had started the transition into being a vampire. I foolishly, naively, I don't know, but I defended him. And when he left, I left with him. More than that, I gave him the sword. I broke their trust in doing that. And now I must pay that price, whatever that may be.
But what has you choosing your words so carefully?
She's gonna look out the windows. Is there any ravens flying around?
No.
Ill.
this
You hear the
place is
Sams going
consecrated.
off as they shoot the ravens as they come by.
yeah,
She'll
yeah.
look to
You know,
Elena.
but this place is consecrated. Yeah, no.
Yeah, she'll look to Elena and then she'll look to Apollo. Did you learn how to ensure someone spoke the truth?
I can do that
Can you do that for
The
me?
they?
right now. Yes.
If you couldn't, I could have.
And she'll come around this way.
And
Want
I'll
to get the
cast
streams crossed?
Zone of Truth at 4th level because that's the only slots I have. The lowest level slots I have remaining.
Sorry, man. In order for me to return to you, I had to sell Strahd on the idea of my allegiance being to him. I don't know how, but he agreed. A little scared why. To him, I am his spy. I have no intention of staying that way forever, but I cannot speak as freely as I want to. Not everywhere, at least.
Bad roll.
I mean,
Bad.
did she willingly fail the circle?
That's a good point.
Yeah, did you?
Because
did you
Apollo
really
would know.
think so? Avery?
Just for the fun of it, I'm gonna have Ziva roll something.
But did
But-
Dorje willingly fail the circle?
Yeah, that's what we need to know. Did Dorsey willingly fail
Yes,
the
she did.
circle?
She did?
Okay.
I have Ziva. Oof.
I think
That's
you
also
technically don't know if it was willing or not. You just know that she
She
failed.
Failed, yeah.
yeah. Yeah, Ziva didn't learn very much.
That was all the truth.
So why don't you tell your story again then?
She will tell her story again.
Okay. It's like
But
just for the sake of shortness, like
Yeah,
the same story, but
she'll
it does
add
ring
on-
true.
Yeah, she'll tell the same story, and she'll also add on that she died, and Inigo brought her back, or found a way to bring her back.
Can't believe Father Nedlovich is still kicking.
I mean, it.
What? Sorry, go ahead, Apollo.
I mean, it sounds like he's not completely lost if he brought you back, not as a vampire.
He only became a vampire because he thought that was the safest way to save his mother. Not the safest, the only way to save his mother. At least from what I've seen.
I mean, a bit foolish, but understandable in a perverted way.
I'd say he's Barovian.
He definitely did not follow the Morning Lord's path, for sure. But Elena was confused by something?
What does Strahd want you to do as his spy with us?
I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure, partially because we never actually discussed that. The conversation ended at me being his spy.
I mean,
If I
get
had to
the
pick-
relic is the main part.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
The only actual mission I've been given, aside from earn back your trust, is to find a relic from some saint way back when. Apparently the only vampiric saint to have been blessed by the Morning Lord. With, I believe it was
Wait,
a
what?
chest plate.
Vampire
Yes.
blessed by the Morning Lord?
I
Surprised
look
me.
at Clarence.
That one's a new one to me. That sounds like some horse shit.
Strahd is quite convinced. of it.
Does Apollo and Donson know anything about that?
Make a.
Please say religion.
Yeah, why not? Make a religion.
17. Not bad, not great.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, because this has to do with and
More likely it would be Donson that would know something, because Apollo's been in Barovia's entire life, and If Clarence doesn't know, then he probably doesn't know.
So, uh, Saint Andreval, yeah, Saint Markovia and Saint Andreval, is Andrel, not Andreval, Saint Andrew, Saint Andrew, Saint Markovia, very very prominent uh, within Lathanderianism. But so this other one, Strahd said Cyril Romulik, uh, which give me a second. Now that guy, like you would, because he's pretty. You'd say the name because he like just said it to you. You'd recall that this guy, Donson, yeah, Donson would. He was the first high priest of Barovia. He was the one that made Lathander like the prime deity for Barovia, and like made it to where like that was like soul worship for Lathander. Strangely enough, this was before Barovia had been like pulled into the Shadowfell. He was someone that was appointed by Strahd's father, King Barov. And the dude was famously corrupt. He was kind of like a more of a cautionary tale than anything. But the two other saints, there was a third among them that this guy, Romulich, persecuted heavily. But there wasn't really like much of an explanation why. You never heard anything about this guy being a vampire, but maybe that's why he was,
Persecuted, yeah.
yeah. So,
Eh,
and as for the name, give me
Yeah,
a moment.
Donson would come out and say all that.
I see your counterpart is as cheery as ever.
I'm not in the mood, Samaya.
You never are, Donson.
I snip paste the thing that I wanted to paste. I go to my fucking notes and it pastes the other name. Please, please, please. Saint Targalov.
But yes, Saint Targalvolve.
Though it's not
Targalov.
explained why they were persecuted, it would be an explanation as to why, as in Lathanderism, well, in the Church of the Morning Lord, undead are, well, not exactly looked favorably upon.
And yet somehow he was. Favorably enough that, according to Strahd's research, the Morning Lord gifted him some form of armor that would protect him under the sun. Strahd intends to use this armor.
And he wanted you to get us to get it so that he could get it.
Yes. I'm not sure how much of this is true or even how he intends to make it work, but he seems to be planning to rejoin Barovia with the outside world. It sounds as if he's trying to reunite and, I don't know, become part of that world, but at the same time, He's not called the demon for no reason.
Right, but I mean, if he wants us to get it, that means we shouldn't get it.
He's going to get it anyway. It's either through us or through Inigo, and Inigo, right now, has been gifted back his mother. There's not much I can think of that would keep him from vowing the rest of his loyalty to Strahd. Not yet, anyway. Because she didn't hear the conversation about him not being connected to Strahd.
Are your intentions to act as his spy like he wants you to? Yes or no?
She thinks for a moment. Because the answer is yes and no.
Triple
At the end of
spy.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, no.
What about now?
Right now, it might be the only thing that allows me to travel safely with you, or you to travel safely anywhere, so yes.
I mean, to sell it makes sense. Could give him false information if he seeks that.
I have to be very careful about it, either way. And you should know, he knows, he instructed me to tell you whatever I needed to be on your side. So I am telling you everything, and as this Zone of Truth is still active, my loyalties do not lie with him.
Where do they lie?
They lie with Inigo, and they lie with Barovia. And I want them to lie with you, but trust is the first step there.
Why do your loyalties lie with Inigo?
My loyalties lie with Inigo. Initially because he was the only one with a guaranteed way out of Barovia. After I died and came back, my loyalties lied with him because he still managed to show compassion beyond what a vampire should be capable of. I don't know if he still sees me as an asset, ally, or friend, but he saved me when he didn't have to.
Mm. How is Neo reacting to all of this?
True.
I foresaw
Uh,
all of this ages ago.
Neo has his back on the wall, just the hood up. I mean, the hood down, just listening. No emotion. None that you can see, at least.
I mean, by the sounds of it, could also give Inigo a chance to explain himself. Though if he makes his loyalties to the devil clear, he'd have to annihilate him.
As far as Inigo is concerned, I'm fairly certain, convinced that he's already made his case, and it was not received very well. It will need a different approach.
If you're telling us, sorry, if you're telling us that Strahd instructed you to tell us everything you need to for us to trust you, why should we trust you?
It's not a question of if you should, it's if you will.
I mean, if there is no reason to should, I'm pretty sure I know where I come down.
I also have some information on Strahd's palace. I can't guide you everywhere, but I can guide you in some places.
I mean, no offense, but I don't think that's information that would be trustworthyable.
I agree with that.
I mean, that would make you more likely to be trusted, but you're not lying, and well, I kind of looked up to you in a way when I was growing up.
She kind of looks confused at that.
And yeah, I think you have more potential for good. And I'd be willing to trust you, although with definitely with some precautions in place, as not full trust yet, as you'd still have to earn that back through action.
And not with you having the sword.
Darling, I couldn't even wield it.
It's not true.
You can't use it just because you're not
Very-
proficient in it. Doesn't mean you can't
Yep,
use it.
That is not true.
Yeah.
Sure. But yeah, also brief flashback, she would have unattuned from the sword prior to this encounter. The sword's not
Okay.
even mine to use. It's his. Looks over at Neodon. Or nods to Neodon.
If I understand correctly, it's technically no one's to use until the skull's returned.
Not it is. It's fuck. What's his name? 1 second.
The Revenant fellow.
Yeah, I have his name in my notes. I just have to find it.
I'll wait.
Vladimir Horngard.
Yep.
Vladimir's, and if we don't get it back to him in the next 2 days, we will be haunted by revenants.
That was 4 days ago. Not 4 days ago. That was 3 days ago.
Oh, so we have 4 days then.
Oh, okay. So he gave you a week?
I'm pretty sure.
Something like that, yeah.
Oh yeah, and we are at 4 days because I came here a day early.
Okay, then we have 3 days.
So we take care of the general with our newly gotten saltpeter, and then we hightail it to that place. I don't have it in Apollo's notes because Apollo.
Argenvost.
Yeah, that place. Argenvost. We go to Argenvost and return the skull and the sword. And then get the sword, if I understand correctly.
Well, we get the sword after we do
Return
that.
the skull, yes.
Yeah.
But
I could also
that-
return the skull while you guys fight. It will cut down on time. I just thought this was something you'd
I don't.
I don't
know.
like that.
No, I don't think you should go very far until we trust you again.
Fair enough.
Though that could be something Kai could do.
To do something?
Don't
Sorry,
think
what do you
they'll
want
be
me to
happy
do? I
if he
wasn't paying
shows up
attention.
without the sword.
Oh, you want me to go back to that freaky place on my own without the sword?
Oh, you could handle it. Dragon Slayer. Says
Fuck no.
Oh yeah,
I
didn't
mean,
he
you could
say
go.
we'd
You
have
don't have to go with that yourself. You could go. You could take your best friend Caligo with you.
I don't even know where he is.
He was somewhere in Kresk last we knew.
He was,
But-
yeah. Because one of y'all, which I think it was Ziva, was like, "Oh, your daughter might be coming back here in the future," or some shit like that. Somebody said that to him.
I might have.
Yeah, one of you did. I know one of you did. You were like, you might find her when you get to fucking Kresk. Meanwhile, like, you weren't even sure yet that she was going to show up here, which was my favorite part of that.
Oh,
Like, yeah.
So your father's alive, by the way.
Oh, spill the tea. Today is just nothing but
No, that's the wrong.
revelations.
Not Ziva. That's Samaya's thing. Let's see. Oof. The faint nonchalance, uncomfortability, and some slight fear completely drops for complete shock and confusion. And then looks to the abbot. What?
What? Oh, I didn't do it.
Yes, you did.
Nope.
You helped me bury him. His tombstone is right outside that window.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But that's what I mean. I didn't do it.
He said he faked his death to protect you, I believe. So it's not necessarily the abbot's fault. He does bear some responsibility because he didn't verify the body, but
She's gonna try and teleport out of there and back to her house.
Okay.
I don't have
Would Kai counters?
Wait,
Kai
do you
would
have
counter
the spell
spell.
slot to to? Oh yeah,
I
you
did.
rested.
Yeah,
Fuck.
you did a long rest.
Does Kai have counterspell, Dylan?
He does. Wait, does he? Yeah, he should.
I'm pretty
He
sure he
sh-
does.
He so should. Yeah, that's such a Tom thing. He totally would
Yeah,
have counterspell.
Teleport's a 7th level though.
Yeah,
you're
you'd have to
right.
roll for it unless he upcasts it.
I'm not gonna say that he'd upcast it because, well, actually, no. He also possesses the spell teleport. So,
He'd recognize.
yeah, he's gonna counterspell your teleport at 7th level.
All right. Then she's
Fuck
gonna
that! You're not going anywhere.
I
To my, I don't.
for
that's-
easier tracking, if that happens, I am now putting this on her.
Yeah, she's. Never mind. She's not gonna do that. She will. She's
Well, I mean,
gonna
you
jump out
you
the
tried to
window.
cast a spell, so I mean, like that does get wasted. But yeah,
Yeah, she'll jump out the window and as she's falling, she'll polymorph about 10 feet from the ground and fly back to her home.
you absolute maniac! That was an antique. Periwinkle,
Isn't
can
that-
you start casting mending?
Isn't everything in Borovia an antique?
Technically. Mostly souls.
Z was gonna start running after her.
You know, I am following.
I'll go out the door and then fly after her.
In fact, the sprite is following her.
Kai will just yell out after you. I'm still not talking to her.
Didn't he talk to her when he said you're not doing that after he counterspelled?
I don't know what you're talking about. um, and you know what? Yeah, as she jumps out of the window and heads home, that's where we'll call it.
Right.
Sorry that ended up being so much on the one side, but now everything's kind of back to where everybody can be present, and then we can go from there and see what happens.
Sheesh. Sorry, guys.
That's all good.
No, I know it was probably more boring for you being in Vex, but
being in Vex.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that. But you don't gotta worry about it going forward. Yeah. I gotta head out. I got work tomorrow.
Dylan, I have one thing before you leave.
Oh, okay.
If you are able to at some point, I'm going to need 2 stat blocks in Wee for a mule and a riding horse. I can I'll send you a message and have you do it tomorrow.
Yeah, send me a message. I can do it during lunch at work. Apparently, the computers for the police don't block Roll20 or most social media, which is hilarious.
That's
Right.
great.
Good night.
It's night.